Good evening. How are you tonight, huh? Great. Great. One more level. And a lot of EQ, make me sound really good. Well, we have instilled this program here, which I guess is being adopted as the Professional Big Band Series. This evening, of course, our guest is Pete Rugolo. And we have in the coming couple of months here, Billy May and Louis Belson joining us. So we're looking forward to that. We hope to see you join us again on those events. And this evening is very interesting because as we start to address the young people have rediscovered swing music. Are you familiar with this? MTV, they just won the Video Music Award of the Year. And for a long time I thought the nation had musical amnesia, but it seems that it's coming back around again. And historically they always say you can't know where you're going unless you know where you've been. And I think that's particularly true in the music business. Especially even comedians in their art form. Many of the young comedians don't know who the political satirist Maud Saul and some of the original comedians were. They just barrel ahead. Well, tonight we have, of course, a really father of one of the true fathers of progressive jazz. And if we are real lucky, we can have Pete come out now and join us and take some question and answers. We've chosen some music to play for you in about 35 or 40 minutes. And in the meantime, we'd like to field some questions and things with Pete. In fact, the afternoon started off, a lady came up to me and she says, I have an envelope for Pete. And she was the daughter of the man who owned the Sweets, was it the Sweets Ballroom in San Francisco? Oakland, which was where many of the named bands played. And you played piano there, right? Okay. What were you doing at that time?
Well, I was going to sign.
You got to turn the volume up.
I was going to, of all places, a girls' school called Mills College. I was the first boy allowed to study there because I wanted to study. I just finished San Francisco State. I got a teacher's degree. And I didn't know I was going to make a living in music. I was going to be a teacher. So when I heard that this Darius Milhaud was going to teach at Mills College, I wrote a nice letter. Luckily, I had almost all A's in my music. And they accepted me there. And it was just a wonderful experience there. The first day I walked in, I had to take a French class. I walked in, and all the girls would just barely make the 8 o'clock class. And they didn't have any lipstick on or anything. And when I walked in and sat down, they were also mad at me. They thought I was going to be the teacher. But I spent 2 wonderful years there, and I got a master's degree in music, and I learned an awful lot from him. And, to make a living, I had to play in dance bands in those days. And I was playing piano at a dance hall called Sweets Ballroom. And that's where we played from the first couple of hours every Sunday. Maybe 8 to 10, and then a band like Benny Goodman or Glenn Miller, Duke Ellington, all those famous bands. I saw Harry James there with Frank Sinatra singing, and it was a wonderful experience for me to do that. That's where I learned an awful lot, all the great bands, and then I tried giving them some arrangements. I remember once Gene Krupa came there, and he said, I need some arrangements. He said, well, I had a few extra ones. I had one on 1 o'clock jump, and 3 little words, something like that. So I gave it to him, and he says, well, I'll send you a check later. I never received it.
An introduction to the music business. So it's interesting, she had some some contracts from that period. She said that Frank was getting $14 a night with Harry's band.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
I think I only made $5 a night. That was a lot. I had to pay my way through school in those days. We played there about 3 nights a week, but every Sunday they had a big name band there. And I think that's all I got was about $5 a night.
And is that where you met Stan or saw Stan for the first time?
No, I was in the Army actually. Then I was at Fort Scott in San Francisco, so, right by the Presidio, the very famous Army base. And Stan's band just, he made his first records, and when I heard them, I just flipped over them. I just thought this is the greatest records I've ever heard. And I started to write like him, and my Army band sounded like Stan Kenton. And so Stan, I heard he was going to be at the Golden Gate Theater in San Francisco. They had bands there every week. So one day I packed up 5 of my arrangements and I put them in my arm, and I went and stayed backstage to meet Stan, and he was nice enough to talk to me. And I said, Stan, I have 5 arrangements here, and I wish you could go over them. But I said, if you don't use them, please give them back, because I copied them all myself. You got a big kick out of that. And I didn't hear from him for about 6 months, and then one day, I was still in the Army, I got a big phone call that said, Pete Rugolo, you're wanted upstairs in the Army barracks. There's Stan Kenton calling you. So I ran up there to talk to him, and he said, we finally went over your arrangements. He said, this saxophone player, Vito Musso, said, why don't you try those arrangements that kid gave you in San Francisco? And so I tried them, and he said, oh, these are great. He says, you're right, just like me, only better. You're much more modern. And he said, whenever you get out of the Army, the job is yours, and that's what happened. When I got out of the Army, I called him, and he sent me the money, and I joined him in New York, in the Meadowbrook ballroom there. And then from then on, I was with him for 7 years, one-nighters every night. We did only one-nighters in those days. Except when we got to here in Los Angeles, we'd play the Palladium, and we would stay here a couple of weeks, and that's when we'd do all the recording. Or when we in New York, we'd stay maybe a week, but the rest of the time was always one-nighter. We lived on a bus.
Why don't we skip a little bit? I have some musical examples of this period. And now, when Stan disbanded, was it in 1949?
49.
Okay, you were in New York, I take it?
Yes. When Stan disbanded, Capitol needed what they call an A&R man in New York, sort of musical director, because they had a lot of artists now coming to New York to play the theaters. They had Nat King Cole, Peggy Lee, Mel Torme, Gene Christie, the 4 Freshmen. So that's where I got the range for all these people. And I was there for a couple of years and got all the arrangements for all their artists.
I understand there's a rumor that Miles Davis still owes you $500.
He probably does. Yeah, I heard Miles rehearsing one time with his band, and I really was crazy about it, so I talked Capitol into signing him, and I made the records. In those days, we didn't even know what to call it. We put them out. We did about 4 sessions with Miles, and they put them out, and they didn't do anything at first. And then somebody, years later, got the bright idea of calling it The Birth of the Cool. And they put them out, and then all the musicians heard them, and they loved the records. And I had a heck of a time recording it. It was 4 days of murder, recording Miles, because they were all young, and they liked to do a lot of things.
That would be, okay, the title of this evening would be The Birth of the Cool.
The Birth of the Cool, yeah.
Yeah. Now, real quickly, I'm going to just spot on some periods. Now, during 49, you did some work with this Charlie Barnett's band?
I only did about 5 arrangements with Charlie Barnett. That's when Stan broke up, and truthfully, I'd written a couple of the arrangements for Stan's. So that's why Charlie Barnett, most arrangements sounded like Stan's band. I did Bebop Spoken Here, one thing was called that, and Ill Wind, Gloomy Sunday, I forget. I did about 5 arrangements for Charlie.
Now, at the same time, before you left New York, was that when you did the Metronome All-Star Band?
Yeah, so every year the Metronome and Downbeat had polls, so like the best clarinet player, best so forth. And I was lucky enough, and I think it was due to Stan, to win for 5 years in a row. And every as the best arranger, and every year Victor recorded it, had me write a piece and call it the Metronome All-Stars. And so that one year was unbelievable. We had, in the trumpet section, we had Miles Davis, I think we had Dizzy Gillespie, we had Charlie Parker on sax, we had Lenny Tristano on piano. We had all the greats, all the people that won. We would make records once a year. So
I think there's a photograph in your brochure or your souvenir book. Yeah, J.J. Johnson, Kai Wending, quite a band behind
yeah, we had a wonderful band.
Yeah, in fact, the movie Round Midnight, I think there's a scene where Charlie Parker misses the last Metronome All-Star session.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, he won almost every year.
Now, at that time, Stan had gone to South America, was it? To recuperate or take some time off? And
Well, he truthfully, he made an excuse that he wanted to become a doctor or something, so he was going to a psychiatrist. But that wasn't the case at all. He was married to a wonderful lady called Violet, and she was a wonderful, and they had a nice daughter, Leslie. And he never saw her. He was always on the road, you know. He never had it, even, you know, he saw her maybe twice a year, and she didn't want to travel with the band. So I think she gave him an ultimatum and said, look, you come home, or I'm leaving. So that's what happened that time. He gave up the band, and he tried staying home, but it's hard. He just loved to be on that bus. he wanted the band. He just loved hearing the band. And they eventually got a divorce. It's a shame. But that was the excuse that he gave up the band.
right. Now, is that the period when he called and said, you're writing for the Innovations Orchestra?
Yeah, I was in New York at the time. He says, we had talked about this. He always wanted to have make an album of a jazz symphonic orchestra. So he called me and says, Pete, you got to come here. I want to start an Innovations Orchestra, a big symphony orchestra, but I want you to write some things for it. So I came in and helped him organize the orchestra, and we recorded, and I wrote, I think, 4 things, and I had to write these four numbers in about 10 days because we were scheduled to record. And I went on tour with him, and truthfully, it didn't do so good. The people were not used to hearing a big orchestra like this play jazz. But it was a wonderful orchestra. We had all the great musicians with this great string section. And I think poor Stan lost almost everything he had. He didn't make any money.
Is it true there were 2 buses? The bus for this
We had the serious bus and the swinging bus.
Now this period of time right after that, is that when you formed your own band?
Well, you know what happened
After the Innovation?
after the Innovations, I got a call. Well, I did my first records for Columbia Records. And Columbia wanted me to, said, you got to get on the road and sell these records. You got to get a band together and go on tour. So I was offered a tour with Billy Eckstein and Peggy Lee and my band to travel for about 6 or 8 weeks, all during the South and different places. And so I went to New York, organized the band. I had a wonderful orchestra, and we started that tour. The first 2-3 nights were fine. And then when we got down south, all of a sudden we had a hurricane, and the roofs were blowing off and everything, and they canceled the rest of the tour.
So what did you do with the band and the payroll that wasn't to be?
I had signed the boys for about 6 weeks, so my manager at that time hired me to play Birdland, which is a famous jazz place in New York, and I played the Savoy Ballroom. And truthfully, I didn't have a big library because I had my first records. I had about 12 arrangements, and I had a lot of arrangements that I did over for Jude Christie. I wrote for Trumpet Solo, whatever. And when we played the Savoy Ballroom, those people really liked to dance. So I tell you, I had these kind of long introductions before the tempos, and they'd say, play some rhythm, we want to dance, you know. So I had to take everything. I had to take all the intros out and just play the swing music for the dancers. But anyway, I finally, they kept me busy. We played the Paramount Theater. I did that with Billy Eckstein and Henry Elman. And they kept me busy around New York. And so when the 6 weeks were up that I played the band, I said, I'm not going to be a band leader anymore. It's just too hard. In the first place, I didn't have time to write music anymore. That's what I really love doing. And so I was a band leader for about 6 weeks.
So is this when you came back to Hollywood?
Yeah, I came back, I decided, I was doing some things with Nat King Cole in those days. I did the first 45 Nat King Cole records. And he asked me to finish an album to come out to Los Angeles here. And when I got here, I said, you know what? I'm just going to stay here. I'm not going to go back to New York because I always, in my life, I always wanted to write for movies or television. Television was just more or less getting started doing with all these good series that I could write some music for. And so I just took a chance, and I didn't have a very good time for a while. I couldn't get a job. They were all afraid of me. I'd go to the Warner Brothers or Fox or Metro, and I say, you know, get an interview, and they say, oh yeah, we like your music, but you're too crazy. You write all that Indian music and stuff.
All that wild stuff.
Wild stuff. They were afraid to take a chance on it because they you know, the Kent stuff was pretty modern, and they were afraid I was doing the music. So I was ghosting for a lot of people. I did arrangements for $25, $50 for Ray Anthony and Les Baxter, you name them all. I was doing all their work for nothing. And then I finally got lucky. I did get a call from MGM, and they said, we're doing a jazz picture, and we want you to do the score to it. It's from Mickey Rooney. It's called The Strip. He played the drummer in it. So I wrote a jazz score. I think it's probably the first jazz score I've ever written at MGM. And they liked the score. It was a small band. I used about 12, 15 men. And from then on, I stayed at MGM for about 5 years, and I did all the musicals, Mary Lonson, Jane Powell, and Esther Williams, all those great musicals that you hear, you know.
As a side note, is this when you became friends with Frank?
It's during that period,
Yeah.
yes.
He was in between
Yeah.
careers.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Okay, now this, you were recording some of your own albums, though, when High Fidelity came in?
Yeah,
The predecessor to Stereo?
Yeah, when Stereo came in, I then went to work for Mercury Records. Again, being in charge of all the people that came to Los Angeles, like Patti Page, they had Sarah Vaughan, Dinah Washington, a lot of great, Earl Garner, they had a lot of great jazz people. So it was my job to record them and also make the arrangements. I did some things for Patti Page, for all the great people. So I kept busy, and in the meantime, I was doing arrangements for all these people too, Billy Eckstein and so forth, Sarah Vaughan and all those people. So,
is this during the period when you did a lot of the albums like Something Cool for June Christie, or is that later to come?
A little later.
A little later?
Yeah, I started doing things with June Christie, quite a few, I've done a dozen out for June, and the Four Freshmen, more trombones, and whatever they were called. And,
Angel Eyes, what were some of the other hits? Do you remember, Pete?
I don't know if there were hits especially.
No.
I didn't have very good, many hit records because they said my stuff's always too wild.
What did you do Lush Life with?
Lush Life I did with Matt. That was a nice little story. I became friends with Billy Strayhorn, who wrote Lush Life. He was Duke Ellington's great arranger. And every time we would hit Chicago and New York, we'd find out if he was there, if Ellington's band was there. And we'd have lunch, and we became very good friends. And one day, he gave me a piece of sheet music. He says, Pete, I wrote a thing called Lush Life, and I just love this tune. Can you play it for Nat and see if he would record it? So I told Nat about it. He says, great, make an arrangement of it. So I made an arrangement of it, and we recorded it in New York, and he loved it. But Capitol wouldn't put it up. He says, this tune is not very commercial. At that time, Nat was starting to do things like Too Young and Mona Lisa, things like that. And he says, we don't know what to do with it. So for a whole year, it didn't come out. And they finally put it out as a B-side to a thing called I'd Like to Make a Million or something, I don't know. And the thing is that the jockeys started playing it, and the movie stars, it was Lana Turner's when I was in the gym. That was her favorite tune. Ava Gardner loved it. And so it became like a standard thing.
Now, you had several albums that you did, 10 trumpets and 2 guitars.
Well, when Stereo came out and I worked with Mercury, they said, we don't have any stereo albums. So I said, okay, then I made a thing called 10 trumpets and 2 basses. Then I made 10 saxophones and 2 guitars. So we had 5 here, 5 on guitar here, 1 guitar. And I made 10 trombones and I don't know, 2 something else. And again, I thought they were great albums, and I got the world's greatest trumpet players and trombone players. They were wonderful. They had 10 of the best of everything. But again, they didn't sell too much, and I made a lot of albums for Mercury, and hardly any of them sold. I don't know why. I guess they were a little too wild.
So you moved into, we'll take questions real shortly. At this period of time, did you start writing for television?
Yeah, I did. I worked at MGM for about 5 years. I don't know if this stuff is interesting to you guys, but I was ghosting for a guy called Georgie Stoll, and I had to put his name in all the, and I did 98% of every music thing. I did, all those great pictures of Esther Williams, Skirts of, I know, all these great pictures. And one day Andre Previn, who's a dear friend of mine, he was working there too. He said, Pete, what are you doing? You're giving your ASCAP away. You're not giving any credit. He said, that 5 or 6 years from now, you can begin to get checks from Europe and all over. I said, well, I don't know anything about ASCAP. I don't know. And he says, well, you go and see if you can't get your name on these things. So I went to Johnny Green, who was the head of MGM Music at that time. And I said, Johnny, I'd like to start putting my name on the things that I did for George. He says, well, if you do that, then you can't work here. So I said, all right. And luckily, at that time, I got a call from a friend of mine and a producer that was doing a show called Thriller, a pilot with Boris Karloff. And I did the pilot, and it sold. And so I started to work at Universal. And I stayed there for 15 years. I did one show after another. I never missed a week. I did The Fugitive, Run for Your Life, The Low Ones, Beretta, you name them, Leave It to Beaver. I never left. It was wonderful, except that I had to write all this music. It wasn't very good for my wife because I never saw her. Music is always last, so I'd see a picture on a Friday and I have to record Tuesday. I have 40 minutes of music, so every weekend I'd have to be writing music all day. But there was such a great job, I couldn't refuse it. So I did that for 15 years.
And some of your associates at the time were some of your other arranger, composer friends?
Well, they were all there. John Williams, we all worked at Universal, wonderful writer. I'm trying to think, a fellow called Morty Stevens, who later did Hawaii Five-O. Henry Mancini was there. We were all there. We all had little rooms, and we had other things to write on. All good friends, I'm trying to think. Almost everyone became famous.
And, I've known Pete for a number of years, and I never, ever failed to learn something new. I didn't know that you produced Frank's album on Tommy, was it?
I remember Tommy.
I remember Tommy.
Well, Frank and I became good friends. That's when he was on the album. Yeah, his throat wasn't too good, and I think Ava left him, and he just wasn't working or anything. And I became very good friends with him. We spent a lot of time together. We were both Italian. We liked to cook, and we'd play our music all night. And I'd go to the fights with him, and he'd steal all my girls. If I was fine a day with a nice girl, he'd say, hey, I like that girl. I said, well, you can have her. And we were very good friends. Yeah. And so he decided to do an album called I Remember Tommy. And he asked me to produce it. And I think it was Cy Oliver wrote most of the arrangements. I didn't do the arrangements. I just was in the booth doing it. And I told him tonight that the first night that we were set to record, we had this big orchestra, about a 45-piece orchestra, and he just didn't sound good. He wasn't hitting the notes. And I said, Frank, I don't know what's wrong, but you sound terrible tonight. And he says, well, what do I do? I said, well, I don't know if you want to continue or not. He said, no, let the orchestra go. So we let all these guys go. It was a 45-piece orchestra, and we hired him back another week, and his voice was all right. I don't know, really, he just wasn't feeling good. Usually, he always did in one take. He was well prepared for everything. And these are all things that he did with Tommy, This Love of Mine, and all these great things. And so the album came out. I guess it did all right. I don't know.
I think at this time, why don't we take some questions, hopefully. Yes?
When you worked at Capitol, you were working with Nelson Riddle.
No, that's another story. I told him I don't know how to speak. So I speak in Italian. And I guess once I get going, I guess I can't stop. But anyway, Nelson Riddle and I were very good friends. And he was writing all the arrangements for Les Baxter. He wrote Too Young, Mona Lisa. And he had to put Les Baxter's name on it, Les scratch his name out. And so one day I happened to be in Matt Cole's business manager, Carlos Gastel, and I was in his manager waiting for him to go have lunch with me. And I heard this voice and saying, yes, my name is Nelson Riddle, and I really wrote the arrangements to Triana and all these other things that Nelson was getting credit for, Mona Lisa. And when I heard that, I knew that was the truth, so I went in and I said, Carlos, that's the truth. He really wrote these arrangements. You've got to give him a chance to do the next date, and he did. And he did Nelson did the next Nat date, and from then on he stayed with him for years. He wrote all those wonderful things.
So Nelson really gave that point from you?
I guess so, because he was ghosting like I was before. It was Les Baxter, he was ghosting. But he hadn't been doing too many dates on his own at that time. After he did Nat Cole, then Capitol liked him. He started doing the work for all the Capitol people.
Questions? Yes.
I'm probably
There's a little club in Greenwich Village called the Lush Life. Was that named after the song, do you think? Or,
maybe that, I'm not sure.
where did you wrote the song because of the play?
Billy Strayhorn wrote the song. He was Duke Ellington's right-hand man, like I was with Stan. I mean, they almost compared us. And I think that he wrote a lot of the things that Ellington gets credit for too. Billy Strayhorn. He wrote Take Day Train and things like that. And I don't know about that, but I think about it later. It was called Lush Life. Maybe I'm not sure.
How long ago did you do this world and the fireworks?
Well, I did that about 6 months ago, and it was a real cheesy picture, and a sexy picture, and I decided to do it. And I did the picture, and the picture got the worst reviews, but I think I got a nice review on it, and I got a CD, and everybody liked the music, but the picture only lasted 2 weeks in town. Nobody saw it, and they didn't advertise it or anything, so I don't know if anybody has ever heard that music, but I enjoyed doing it, because I hadn't worked for a while, and I did it almost for union scale. That was about it.
Do you have perfect pitch?
Perfect pitch?
Yeah.
No. I have pretty good pitch. I can, if I'm conducting, if I hear a wrong note, I can say, oboe, you hit a B flat instead of a B natural. So that I can do, but I don't have perfect pitch. I have a very good ear. Yeah.
When you worked for Stan, did Stan ever box you in on how to write, or did he give you?
No, he was the most wonderful man I've ever known. He let you alone. Anything that I wrote, he just played. He never once said, Pete, that's too modern. Don't write that way. I don't like that. He said, go. Anything. Never changed the note. Stan was just beautiful that way. He encouraged me to just keep writing. And I don't say that the guys in the band liked a lot of the stuff, but it was still modern for them. And a lot of stuff, truthfully, didn't swing. And the guys in the band, musicians always like that, things like bassy that swing like crazy, But they got used to it, and it was interesting for them to play because it was quite more difficult than just playing regular things, people like Vito Musso was really funny in the saxophone section. He's used to playing with bands like Benny Goodman, where all the 5 saxes play the same all the time, everything, Now, stuff that I wrote, I would have alto sax play two bars, and then the tenor comes in, and then the other sax. And he looked at Boots, who's the best bass. He's telling me, I don't know. Why am I playing with you? At first he didn't get it, that he had to count. But most of the time the sax always played together. Yeah.
Do you have any kind of
Go ahead.
formula that you use when you act a arrangement, when you want to make an arrangement, or you just kind of
No, I don't have any formula, truthfully. I just sit down by the piano. I need a piano, honestly. I'm one guy that needs it. And I just bang on some chords, and I get ideas. I might think an idea at night or something, or I have an idea that I want to write this. But most of the time it was, Stan says, okay, Pete, we're we're in Hollywood now. We're recording in 10 days. I need a thing for Safransky. I want a thing for Shelley. I want a thing for Rito. We're supposed to do a bolero, but they wouldn't allow it. It would cost too much money, so write me a bolero. So they tell me what to write. But for a lot of stuff, and a lot of stuff is on my own. I could write anything I wanted.
You mentioned writing at night. Do you ever wake up in the middle of the night and things go through your head and you write them down and you trust
Well,
that you might remember?
I never did that too much. In truth, I wish I did because the next day I forget. No, I thought of that too. There are times I did, but if I had a general idea about something, I would remember that. But
Interestingly enough, The Fugitive,
yeah,
was that before Law? Before Mission Impossible?
I think so. The Fugitive was a long time ago. My God, I think I've been getting paid for 30 years on that. It's wonderful. I'm getting royalties on that. It's on cable now, but before, And I must say, I got paid so little for that. I was so upset. I wrote this much music, 4 hours worth of music. In those days, they took all my music and went to London to record it because it was a lot cheaper. And I said, well, $500, whatever, $5,000, whatever. And I was so disappointed. But I must say, in the later years, when it finally got on television, I think I made more money on that than anything else.
That was in 5/4, right?
5/4.
First, okay, over here, there's a question.
Yeah, Mr. Rugolo, did you ever use MIDI instruments to write and arrange? MIDI instruments, like a MIDI piano where you can sequence the song? Or did you always write with pencil and paper?
Pencil and paper, yeah, always, I did use a synthesizer, only one though. I'm not one that really likes synthesizer. I was one of the first ones at Universal because I did a lot of crazy pictures on Run for Your Life. There's always somebody wild in it, smoking pot or something. I don't know. And so I got a chance to write all this crazy stuff. And one time, everybody was plugged in. In one period, I forget what year that was. Everybody would walk in the studio, and even the trumpets, the saxophones, everybody they were plugged into something, with electronic music, and it was fun. But as a whole, I only like to use the synthesizer with the orchestra, not alone.
For those of you young enough to realize what he's saying, a pencil and a piece of score paper. When we worked on my last album, Pete would sit down with a pencil and a piece of score paper. Within a few minutes, that would be filled up. The only thing Pete has at the house to check, there is no piano. What is that thing you have in the corner?
Oh, just a little tiny electric piano. I bought one time we had a little house. Didn't have time for a baby grand or anything. So Universal had a little small, one of the first electric pianos. It was only a little small, like 2 ounces or something. So I bought that. I think I paid, I don't know, $300 or something. And I took it home. It was perfect. And I could play it real soft when nobody could hear me. Turn it on if I needed. So I used that for years until we moved to a larger house and I finally bought me a little grand piano.
Yeah, no sequencing yet. Pete still uses the old-fashioned one. Yes.
So of the big bands and of the arranging for singers and your TV work, what did you prefer most?
I don't know. I really enjoy almost everything, truthfully. It's easiest for me to do for vocals, for the singers. The TV work was very hard because I didn't have much time to do it, and it had to be good. I didn't have time to scratch it out. I don't like it, throw the newspaper basket. I just had to keep writing because they were waiting for me to copy the stuff. And when you only have 3 days to write all this music, so I was under pressure all the time. And it had to be good, And but for singers, I'd have plenty of time usually. Maybe have 2 weeks to do an album or whatever. And of course, my own stuff, I took time to write it. Write whatever I wanted to write. But movie music. If you write for movies, actually you have enough time. TV was very hard. Not enough time.
Pete, you said something to me very interesting this afternoon. There were 2 people you would not accept composition or arranging assignments from. Share that with us. One was a singer, one was a band leader. Why?
excuse me.
Yes. Duke and Frank.
Oh, yeah. I always get called from, when I went out with Frank all the time, he says, you've got to make an arrangement. I want you to write an arrangement for me. And I was afraid to write for him because he was my favorite singer and a friend, and I thought if I wrote an arrangement for him and he didn't like it, then maybe I'd lose him, you know? And he'd say, because he kind of respected me, he liked the stuff that I did for Jim Christie and other people, you know? And Duke Ellington would wake me up at 4 in the morning, when are you going to write me an arrangement? And he was my favorite band, and you know, I was kind of afraid of him, and I never could write for him. But anybody else, I did things for bands, you know, whatever I had time to do, I would do it for other bands.
Well, how about some closing questions? And do we have an orchestra yet? The orchestra has arrived. Any final questions? Yes.
Mr. Rugolo, have you written your memoirs?
No, I guess I should. The only thing I was asked to do was to write an arranging book years ago, and I said, oh, it's too much work. I don't want to write an arranging book. And then a lot of people start writing it, but I didn't want to do it.
Well, swing has been rediscovered, so you're going to have to redefine everything. You can't. Your memoirs have not been finished yet. Any last questions? Okay, well, I think what we'll do is take a short 5-minute break and readdress the topic of the evening with music.